Okay, here's a short video on how to use the gradebook I've created to go along with Delta Math, since it really doesn't have a gradebook. So first thing we need is some grades. So to protect my students, I created a fake account. So first thing you'll do is you'll come here to your few assignments, and then I don't have any students because I didn't want to show my students. So here's where all your students would be. You click on the grade that you want to do, so first period, and then download to Excel. So there we go. Then you would open that up right there. I'm just going to close it out. But you would open that up, and when you open that up, it would automatically pull up an Excel file, which I already have pulled. And I replaced all my students' names for 3rd through 6th period with just generic first one, last one, and so forth. So here's all my students and their grades. So all you do is click in this top little left-hand box, and then copy, and then go back to your grade book. And that little yellow cell right there, just hit paste. And it takes it just about 15 seconds usually to paste all those grades in there because it's doing a lot of other work for you at the same time. There they come. And when it first comes up, well, everything's still highlighted. I like to just go ahead and put everything back in boxes because when you paste over, it pastes over the boxes. And then I also like to take this wrap text and choose the wrap text so that these assignments here will be where I can read them completely. So if I click that, that's as long as everything's still highlighted. So there's that. So when you first look in here, your grade, here's all your assignments, here's your students, what period they're in, and this is their average if everything's counting the same. So what I wanted was to be able to identify tests. So right now, I have this automatically highlight in red if it recognizes the word test in there. So that says test, that says test, but this one's the actual test. So I'm gonna identify this one as the test. When I do that, the gradebook will then automatically recognize that as a test. And now there's their test average. So if I took another one, let's say this one person here didn't take this test. So if I took this one and called it a test 2, then now you would see that her average should be a 50 on her test because she has 100 and a 0, and there it just turned it into that. So this is how you can identify tests and get a regular average and a test average. And then I'm going to take this one test back off by just smashing delete. So right now this is the only test I have in here. And then you get a class average by choosing how much you want your test to count. So for me, I've got this test marked as 35% of their grade. So this is their final average. I could change that to 50. I could either select or type it in there. I'll just go down here and find it. 50%. Please ignore that. 50%. And then now if I do that, 0 and 86 should be a 43, and there it is. Okay, so if I count their test 100%, no, I don't know who does that, but I want to count their test 100% of their grade, then none of this matters. Their test grade is their class average. So you can kind of see how that works. We'll put it back on 35. So test for me is 35%. So, and this also tells you right here how many assignments are being counted as tests. So if I mark this one as a test again, then now I have 2 tests being marked, and these 2 will not count on the regular assignment averages. That just dropped because now, or it went up, I don't really know what it did, but it's not the same. And now I have test average of 50. So once again, taking this back out. Let's move on to the other parts. You can filter certs by assignment. So what that is, if you click here, it's going to give you a list of all your assignments and who has those assignments missing based on your criteria. So I have it set to less than or equal to 0. So that tells me all these students have not done this assignment. I could change that to less than a 90. If I did that less than a 90, and then all of a sudden there's going to be a bunch of students in here that have less than 90 on that assignment or that assignment. And out there beside it tells you what they have on that assignment. That's their grade. So I just want the zeros for right now. I want to know which ones have not done anything. So there's that. So it's a real quick way of getting all your students at once. And then you got this email tab. Before that'll work, let me scroll over here to the right. If you click on inter-student emails. Here's where you would have your students and your emails. So what I would do is take the first time you paste your gradebook in here, I would come here and copy their first and last name or type it in, and I'm on the wrong tab, excuse me. Type in their first and last name and put their email address right there. And so if you do that, then when you go to this email student tab, it's going to find their name and their email address so that you can email them very quickly out of GMass. Because I use GMass a lot for Google. And so I can mash just a few clicks of the button. I can email all these students at once. Every assignment that they're missing, their class averages, test averages, their class ranks. I can email them all that at once. But in order to do that, I have to fill out this enter student emails roster. And for GMass, you can only email 50 at a time. So I put this in here. So 1, just to let me know each day if I'm emailing different days, just keeping up with how many. And there's 29 of them, so I can do that quickly. That's another lesson in itself, is how to use GMass if you're not familiar with it. Not going into that in this video, just basically what this tab is for. And for me, we use class ranks. They like to get their class rank. It really pushes them to do better because they want to get higher. So I created a class rank tab. And so this person here, it tells them that what their grade is and their rank. So here's my top students for these classes. Right there they are. And there's 5th place, and then there's a bunch tied for 6th, 13th. So there's all that. And if you're posting this, like I like to post this, usually just the top 10s usually. But you can go in here and say don't show a grade less than 100. So if you don't want anybody to see their grade that's less than 100, you can do that. And then only the grades less than one, only the grades of that will show up. So I can still post my top 10 and I don't not show grades. So, but all my students, they like to see the top 10's grades as long as they're above an A. That's why I usually have it not set to below a 90. And then it shows all the grades less than 90. But anyway, there's a real quick look at how this gradebook works. You paste in your grades, you get averages real quickly, you can identify them as tests, you can quickly look at what assignments are missing by what students, and if you know how to use GMass, you can use these other 2 tabs to quickly email everybody at once. In fact, I emailed everybody this morning. I emailed 60 students, all their missing work and their averages in less than 3 minutes. I emailed everybody at one time. So again, that's a lesson for another time.